Right guys, so welcome back to another video on the channel. I know it's been a little while, decided to take quite a long break. It was a short break to begin with, and I think it's just extended further and further down the line. But we are back, so I thought today I'm going to make a Pokemon video. You know, Pokemon always cheers me up. I really enjoy watching it, I really enjoy playing it. So I thought, you know what, Pokemon video, going to be first video back. So the first ever Pokemon game I ever owned was Pokemon Pearl for the Nintendo DS. That's right, it came out in 2007, so I would have been 9 years old when it came out. But I never really got into Pokemon until a few years down the line. So I believe I was like 11, I want to say, when it came out. I think Pokemon Platinum had just been released and it was a bit too expensive for me. I believe it was like £25. I was like, no, I'm not getting that game. I want a cheaper one. So I went into a game store, I believe it'd be GameStop in America. And I saw Diamond and Pearl. I was thinking in my head, you know what, I'm going to get Diamond. I'm going to get Dialga. It's going to be sick. We're just going to smash it out. But no, I went into the shop. Pokemon Pearl was there for about £10. Pokemon Diamond was there for about 20. And I was like, why is there such a difference? You know what, I'm going to get the cheaper one. So I picked up Pokemon Pearl version. So I'm just going to show you some of the Pokemon that I used on my team. When I played this very first time, I had no idea what I was doing. I basically just went with Chimchar, evolved it up to Infernape, and thought it could win everything. Basically, anything with feathers, I used to use Flame Wheel on. So basically, Psyduck, Golduck, clearly water-type Pokemons. I didn't know any of the type ratings, so I just used Flame Wheel on everything. Anything that looked like it could burn, I used that on. And I lost a lot of battles. I got very stressed out when it came to the Elite Four and Cynthia, and I decided never to complete it until recently, where I've gone through it and I managed to complete it, collect all the legendaries, everything like that. So this is the team which I used. Now when you first start off the game, you can choose between two characters as usual. There's Dawn for the girl, or I believe he's called Lucas for the boy. I'm not sure if he's called Lucas, I'm going to call him Lucas anyway. So, you go to Lake Verity at the beginning of the game where you meet your rival. I think he's called Barry in the anime. And you run into some wild Pokemon while you're there. Now, the starters that you can choose is Piplup, the Wasp-type Pokemon, Chimchar, the Fire-type Pokemon, or Turtwig, the Grass-type Pokemon. Now, obviously, having used Chimchar before, I know Chimchar, and that's why I went with Chimchar. You know, it was really good Pokemon. It used Scratch, Ember, I believe it used to use. And yeah, it got through the first few routes until it evolved into Monferno. I believe at this point it learned Mach Punch and Flame Wheel, and it just went to town on everything. You know, it took out every single Pokemon. Obviously, Mach Punch, I think, is a move that goes first. Although I'm not quite sure now that I've said it out loud. So don't quote me if that's wrong. And then, once that got tightened down a bit, it evolved into Infernape. You know, it loads close combat, which is absolutely amazing. Move can take down many Pokemon in just the one move. Also knows Flare Blitz, and another amazing move. But yeah, all around, Infernape, Chimchar, Monferno, just a great Pokemon to choose. So that's the starter I chose, and I had that as my main Pokemon throughout the whole game. It's higher level than all my other Pokemon. But yeah, as you progress through the game, you go to Route 202, which I believe is the second route in the game. You have the one that goes from your town. I want to say it's called Twin Leaf Town. I think that's where Professor Rowan lives, but I'm not quite sure. It's been a while since I played this game. And then you go up the path and it's Route 202. I believe the other person shows you how to catch the Pokemon there. And there are a few Pokemon in this route. Bidoof's there, Starly's there, Shinx is there. But obviously, I don't care about Bidoof. I'm sorry, I really don't like Bidoof. But I caught a Starly and a Shinx. You know Starly? Again, it's the bird Pokemon of the region. You have a bird Pokemon of every single region that usually a lot of people get. But you know, it wasn't the best, you know, Starly. You know, Tackle, Growl, and that was about it. But yeah, it wasn't really good to begin with, but then obviously it evolved into Staravia, which at that point it had learned Aerial Ace, I believe, and it had got a lot more powerful, and then it decided to evolve into Staraptor. Now Staraptor is obviously one of the best bird Pokemon there is, you know. For the early first route Pokemon, it is amazing when it evolves up, you know. I think people use it in competitive now. and, you know, it learns close combat. It also used Brave Bird, and I used Fly on it because I needed Pokemon to get around. But it just went to town. It didn't really lose many battles at all until it was very disadvantaged. And it just was really, really good. But also on that route, obviously, I caught a Shinx, you know, electric-type Pokemon. Whenever I play Pokemon games, I always like to get that electric-type Pokemon just for the Thunder Wave, you know, to catch the legendary Pokemon. And also, electric-type Pokemon do very, very well. But Shinx, to begin with, wasn't the best. You know, it no Tackle, it no Growl, Tail Whip, I think. And it didn't really do much. I know it was one of the weaker members of the team to begin with, having Chimchar and Starly already there. But obviously, like the others, it evolved into Luxio. At this point, I think it learned Spark, it might have learned Discharge, and it went really good. It went, you know, Bite as well at that point. But then again, further down the line, it evolved into Luxray. Now, Luxray, obviously amazing, amazing Pokemon. You know, it knows Thunder Wave, it knows Thunder Fang, Discharge, Crunch, all these different moves that can pretty much one-shot many Pokemon. And I would highly recommend using a Luxray if you do have a Shinx or anything like that. But the next Pokemon I caught might be a little bit of a shock, but as you head towards Canalave City, I think it is, that's where the big library, and you have the gym, who has the Steel-type Pokemon in the boat, I caught a Magikarp. That's right. Now, Magikarp obviously is the worst Pokemon in the entire game, since it only knows the move Splash and it does absolutely nothing. Every time you use it, it says it fails. So, yeah, it's not the best Pokemon, but once it evolves into a Gyarados, now that is an amazing Pokemon. Again, like the others, it has moves to one-shot many different Pokemon, and it was one of the strongest Pokemon I had on the team. You know, it got through many different gyms. It got through the Elite Four. It took on quite a few members of them and just did really, really good work for me. So I am proud to have a Gyarados. Although Magikarp wasn't the best, and it did take a lot of effort trying to level it up and get it to evolve into the Gyarados to begin with. So the next part of the game, as you're in Canalave City, you know, you've took on the gym, you get called to the library where the Pokemon professor there, Professor Rowan, I think, then your other characters, the other gender characters, Dawn or Lucas is there, and they talk about these explosions or anything like that. Before you take on the gym, I don't know if it's after you take on the gym, but you can go to the guy who has the boats. I think his son is ill and needs like a lunar wing from Cresselia, or I don't know if that's after the game. I'm not quite sure. It has been a while, like I said, since I played the game. But you can take the boat to Iron Island. Now, Iron Island, obviously, the name kind of says it for it. It's an island with loads of Steel-type Pokemon on it, a few trainers. But you meet a man there called Riley. Now, to me, Riley looks a lot like Sir Aaron from the Pokemon movie, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. But for some reason, it's not. And once you go around the island with him, you know, you get to the exit, he'll be like, I've got a Pokemon egg if you want to take it. Obviously, you need space in the party, so it stressed me out a bit since I had to go all the way back to Canalave City, drop off a Pokemon and go all the way back to Iron Island, find my way down the paths and everything to collect the egg, and then go all the way back to Canalave City again. But yeah, the Pokemon egg that you get, obviously you got to keep it warm, you got to keep it energetic with some of the members of the party, and then it will finally hatch. Now, what did it hatch into? It hatched into a Riolu. But yeah, it took a while, I know, to level it up, since most of my party were, I think, getting on for the level 30, and this Riolu is literally level 1. So it took a lot of effort trying to level it up and get it to finally evolve into Lucario. Now, Lucario being one of the best Pokemon I know, it's been used in competitive, it's been used on many people's team. Many people thought Lucario was a legendary Pokemon since it starred in its own movie. I mean, it was literally the start of the whole film. But yeah, it's not legendary Pokemon, but obviously Diamond and Pearl is set before Mega Evolution and things, so Mega Lucario was not in the game, although I would have loved to use a Mega Lucario. Imagine that, going up against some of the gym leaders and just having a Mega Lucario. They'd stand no chance. But yeah, Lucario, overall, amazing Pokemon. Again, knows close combats like many of the others. You know, it can also learn Dragon Pulse, Aura Sphere. Again, the moves that can one-shot loads and loads of Pokemon. Highly recommend a Lucario. If you're not going to get it in this game, at least get it in one of the games down the line. I know it's been in a few games recently. But yeah, that is my 5th Pokemon on the team. So the final Pokemon I used on the team is actually the legendary, the start of the game. Since I was playing Pokemon Pearl, the legendary was Palkia. So water and dragon type Pokemon. And it is unbelievable. Like, the amount of moves it has, the amount of damage it can put in, just because it's the legendary as well. So the way you can get this, you need to go to Spear Pillar. I believe you have to take down all seven different gyms. So as you head in towards Sunny Shore City, the 8th and final gym of the game, there's a guy there that'll stop you and he'll be like, yo, there's been a power cut, you need to head to the tallest mountain in the game for no reason. So you head all the way to Mount Cornet, and there's been a path that I think that's opened up. The Team Galactic are absolutely everywhere. Team Galactic being the evil organization of the game, and they'll basically have loads of enemies everywhere, and you have to follow up the mountain, get towards the very top, and you'll get to Spear Pillar. Now, Spear Pillar is the place where you can capture Dialga or Palkia, and I think Giratina is also there. Not quite sure, I haven't played Pokemon Platinum yet. I think Arceus is there, actually. The Lord Arceus will be there. But yeah, as you get to the top, you have to fight Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Cyrus will be there with the 3 legendary Pokemon, Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit. And they'll spawn Palkia or Dialga. Now you go up there and you have to fight them. So obviously I'm not going to make the Pokemon faint, or I'm not going to run away. I'm going to capture it. So what did I do? I went and captured Palkia. Now again, Palkia is an amazing Pokemon, legendary Pokemon. The cover of the game, the start of the game. I mean, Diamond and Pearl anime was literally called Diamond and Pearl after these two. But yeah, again, a huge, really good Pokemon to add to the team. Water Pulse, Earth Power, Special Rend. You know, it goes in. It does, again, one-shot moves that can, well, moves that can one-shot Pokemon. You know, it's a really good team. But yeah, I'm just going to go through some of the moves that I had on these Pokemon. So let's start off with Lucario. So I'm just going to go through some of the moves that I had on the Pokemon and the items that I gave them. So the first one is Lucario. The item I gave it was a Razor Claw. Honestly, can't remember what a Razor Claw does now. I think I want to say it's increased critical hits, but I'm not quite sure. So do not quote me on that. The moves I gave it was Close Combat, Dragon Pulse, Rock Smash, and Aura Sphere. Now, back in these older games, we had moves that were called HMs. Now, HMs were Cuts, Rock Smash, Rock Climb, Strength, and so on and so forth, like that, Surf, Waterfall, Dive. And you needed these moves to get through the game, so you needed Pokemon that knew them. So I didn't want to have just a Pokemon that I'd use as a slave, basically, and put loads of these moves on and never touch ever. Although I did have one Onix, we're not going to mention that though. But yeah, Close Combat can pretty much one-shot loads and loads of Pokemon. Dragon Pulse, again, a move that could even one-shot Pokemon. Rock Smash, I had to have a move like that on the team, so I gave it to Lucario since it was one of the only Pokemon that could know it. With it being a fighting type, you know, it kind of went since Rock Smash is a fighting type move. And Aura Sphere, Lucario's signature move. Obviously, you got to have Aura Sphere, either Aura Sphere or Force Palm. You know, it's one of them two you got to have. I think Force Palm was a little bit weaker than Aura Sphere, so that's why I traded it out. So the next Pokemon I had was Infernape, obviously, and the moves I had on it was Close Combat, Flame Wheel, Flare Blitz, and Rock Climb. Now again, Rock Climb, one of the moves you have to have as a HM, just if in case you want to scale up any walls. Don't know why you could have just walked up the wall yourself. I mean, the walls don't look that steep. They've got holes in it where you can climb up anywhere. Close Combat, another move that can one-shot Pokemon, like Lucario's. Flame Wheel. Now, I think this move was really quick. It made Infernape really quick. It used to always go first. It was a hard-hitting move. You got it really early. I think you got it as a Chimchar, or maybe a very new Monferno. But again, Flare Blitz. Really powerful move, but it does cause recoil damage, so you will lose a bit of health every time you use it. The item I had was a Scope Lens. Honestly, don't know what a Scope Lens does, so yeah, we're going to move away from that. So third Pokemon on the team was Luxray. Now, moves I had, for some reason, I had Tackle, I had Thunder Fang, Discharge, and Crunch. Don't know why I still have Tackle on this thing. Does it not load? What about Thunder Wave? Where's Thunder Wave gone? I was just saying I have electric type Pokemon for Thunder Wave, but it's not there. I have Tackle, which I don't know why I have. Thunder Fang, I think it has a chance to paralyze, so I think it's why I got rid of Thunder Wave. I don't know why I did though. Discharge. Now, Discharge will hit all the members on the field. So if you have 4 Pokemon, well, so you have 2 Pokemon out, the enemy has 2 Pokemon out, it's going to hit absolutely everybody's, including your own. But again, it's a really powerful move. It can take down it can take down pretty much every single water type Pokemon in one move. And the last one is Crunch. And I think I had this for the Ghost and Dark type Pokemon, the Psychic ones. So I think that's why I had that. And the item I used was a Magnet. Obviously, it powers up electrical moves with it being electric type Pokemon. You know, it does a lot of work. Fourth Pokemon on the team was Staraptor. I had a Shell Bell. I think this Pokemon was really low on happiness, so I think I gave it the Shell Bell. Is that what a Shell Bell is, or am I just making it up? I'm probably just making it up, but it's got a Shell Bell anyway. The moves it has was Close Combat, Fly, Brave Bird, and Aerial Ace. Close Combat, again, we've been through this. I think every Pokemon will pretty much have Close Combat since it's an amazing move. Fly, obviously, HM, you needed to have Fly to get from place to place really quickly, so I put that on my flying type Pokemon. Brave Bird, a really powerful hard-hitting move, you know, powered up by different items. It can be one-shot kill for any Pokemon really, but it does cause recoil damage. Depending on how powerful it is, will depend on how much health you will lose. You can lose a lot of health by using this. And Aerial Ace, another move that can cause a lot of damage. So 5th Pokemon on the team is Palkia, and it's got the Lustrous Orb. Now Lustrous Orb will power up Palkia, the Water and Dragon type Pokemon. So that's why I've obviously given to it. It's a special item. The moves I have is Water Pulse, Cut, Earth Power, and Special Rend. Or is it Spacial Rend? It might be Spacial Rend, so this is a space Pokemon. But Water Pulse, obviously with it being a water type Pokemon and Dragon, obviously Water Pulse is going to do a lot of damage. You can leave some enemies confused, which is good. Cut, another one of them HMs that you needed to cut down trees to get through the game. Earth Power does a lot of damage. It's ground type move. And Spacial Rend, the special type move for this Pokemon. I think it's the only Pokemon that can know it, apart from Smeargle that can learn pretty much every single move in the whole world. But yeah, a Spacial Rend, one-shot move. Earth Power could be a one-shot move. Water Pulse could be a few shot moves, but it could leave them confused. They could kill themselves. But yeah, Palkia, good Pokemon. And the final Pokemon I caught was a Gyarados. It was a Magikarp, and obviously evolved it into Gyarados. And I gave it a Metronome. I think this powers up a move that you can use over and over and over and over again. So if I use Close Combat once with the Metronome, the second time you use it, I think it's more powerful. Third time, even more powerful. But the moves I had on this was Surf, Waterfall, Bite, and Strength. This is pretty much my HM slave I've just figured out. Strength, obviously you need it to get through the game, to move the boulders. Bite, I think this was for taking down some of the Psychic type Pokemon. Psychic was like Slowpoke, Slowbro, Slowking, anything like that. Waterfall, obviously you need it to get up and down waterfalls in the game. I think to get towards the Elite Four, you needed to get Waterfall and Surf. But yeah, that's why I have the Waterfall. But Surf actually is a really good move. It's a HM again, so you need it throughout the game. But it does a lot of damage. I found it one-shotting some Pokemon even. But yeah, those are the Pokemon that I used on my Pokemon Pearl playthrough. Let me know if you wanted me to do this through any other Pokemon games. You know, I have Pokemon, well, from all the way from Pearl. I even have Emerald. I don't know where Emerald is. It's in my room somewhere. I'll find it if you guys want me to do that. All the way up to Sun and Moon. So I can even show you some of the Pokemon I'm using now. But yeah, if the video does well, I might make another video on this in the future. The videos are back, so don't worry. But if you enjoyed this video, please give the video a like. We need all the help we can get with this YouTube ad revenue cut now that's happening. Comment down below in the comments if you've got any Pokemon that you used on your playthroughs or anything like that. Any Pokemon that could be good in the future. And subscribe if you haven't. We need to get those subscribers up. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.